you, Ambassador Holmes. Dear ambassadors, excellencies, ministers, guests, it's a great privilege for me to be able to speak to you this lunchtime. I was going to tell you that I have the notes, the speaking notes of our Minister Yildirim, but he refused to give it to me. He said, "You are on your own, do whatever you want." So I decided to give you a short perspective about how a businessman thinks in an emerging country and how he decides, or collectively they decide to invest in the most competitive market in the world. I don't want to tell you any more about Borusan because Ambassador Holmes already explained. We are one of the oldest groups in Turkey. We have a 69-year background. Just like any other major groups, business groups, we are a conglomerate. Some call it as a dying animal, conglomerates, but it works still in our part of the world. We can characterize ourselves agile entrepreneurship, high level of entrepreneurship, extremely flexible, but we also, on the other hand, spent a lot of time and effort in the last 15, 20 years on building systems using top-notch management tools, control systems. And I am proud to say that we have an extremely dedicated and able workforce. I'm sure many of the Turkish corporations are able to say that. This is our differentiator. Our teams, our people can work 24 hours for a few days easily if needed. This dedication doesn't come that easily. I think the family business approach has a lot to say in this, but it is a vital success story for what has happened in Turkey, both in the government side and also in the private side too. But of course, we have grown a lot, like many other groups in Turkey. We have grown 9 times in the last 10 years, from a $550 million business to $4.5 billion business. And no doubt, Turkey has helped us. Turkish environment's success has helped us a lot. But the challenges are much more for us for the future going forward. In order to understand the challenges from our perspective, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Turkish private sector. The famous consulting firm McKinsey has done a study some years ago. This is 6, 7 years ago, but I think it is still applicable today. And it described the Turkish economy as a 2-track economy. The first track being the larger Turkish groups, local groups, and the foreign operations, the Turkish operations of large international companies. They put them into one group which has similar characteristics. And it compared the efficiency levels of these groups with the counterparts, similar sized companies in USA. On a labor efficiency basis, from its sector to sector it changed, but it ranked between 70 to 90% of the US efficiency, which is pretty high actually. It's pretty competitive because we know that US efficiency levels are the highest in the world. Also, in that study, Turkish SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, were ranked in terms of labor efficiency against their counterparts in USA. And their efficiency was about 30%, 30, of the US counterparts. So there's a huge difference, and that's why this report called the Turkish economy 2-track economy. And obviously, there are many, many different things that each group of companies or each type of companies have to do to be successful going forward. SMEs, the biggest problem is the size. They cannot become efficient because they are not sizable enough. They have to merge, they have to buy, acquire, which is quite not so there in Turkey at the moment. These merger and acquisition issues we are lacking greatly behind. But the larger companies, which our company is a part of. We have solved many issues, efficiencies, etc., but we have other challenges. And I think I can easily say that there are 3 challenges which really stands out. One of them is being a global company. Being a global company starts with regionalization. So you have to be a regional company first, then a global company, if possible, second. What do I mean by that? Really investing in such a way that you act as a local. You invest in people, local people, you invest in facilities, if necessary, you learn the dynamics and you act as a part of that local community. It has priceless advantages, of course, like many of the large American companies have established over the years. And without that, it's not sustainable. So being an exporter only in the long term, in very sophisticated, very competitive markets, is not a good game to play. This is the reason why we decided to invest in our pipe business in USA. I'll come to that in a minute. The second challenge is creating global brands. Turkish companies, unfortunately, do not have any global brands, and brands make or break the future of companies. You cannot survive without strong brands in the areas where you are fighting. And being an exporter is not good enough to create a global brand. And the third one is, of course, that the main challenge for our type of companies, this Group A type of operations in Turkey, is about innovation. New product, service, and business model development through innovation. I think we had too much of an easy ride over the years to benefit from the growth of the Turkish economy. The market was there and we supplied the market. But the profits are going down, the margins are going down, of course, and if you are not one step ahead in your creativity, you cannot increase your value add and you cannot move into different markets in the way you like to be, as competitive as you like to be. So these 3 challenges, I believe, are much more difficult to really meet than what we have done in the last 10, 20, 30 years to creating strong, good companies. And we took that challenge. We said that our pipe business is an international business. We currently, our revenues in our pipe business is about $700, $800 million range, depending on the steel prices, but 70% of that revenue comes from outside Turkey already. We moved a lot from less profitable or less value-added standard pipes for construction sector. We moved into the energy sector. By energy sector, I mean 2 sub-segments. One of them is a drilling for oil and gas, and second, the transmission of oil and gas. And we are in strong position, both of them, globally at the moment. And then it was an easy choice for us. If you actually say that you have to be local where your key market is, and you have to be specialized or focused on energy sector, then the obvious choice is to invest in USA. Because USA, especially in the drilling, after the shale gas, let's say, revolution, accounts for about 50% of the world market, world welded pipe market for drilling and exploration purposes. So long term, this is a great transformation for us. And now we are investing. It has been 6 months. What we have seen so far is great, really. I mean, you can feel little by little all the sentiments of a efficiently running system in a very smooth and subtle way. You don't rush things in USA. You are obsessed with speed and accuracy, but there is no panic, there is no rush. Everything is done in an orderly manner, but in a speedy, orderly manner, which we enjoy a lot. We have to learn from here and transport it to our own businesses in Turkey too. And we are, of course, we are trying to do what is necessary to do. We already recruited the top management team, all Americans, who are very experienced in this sector. And we are trying to bring the two elements together, the best of US way of doing business and the best way of Turkish way of doing business. And it looks very different from a distance actually, that are there any commonalities between the two? There are incredible commonalities. We distribute Caterpillar products in 6 countries, and Caterpillar is a great company, really. I mean, they treat their distributors like their business partners. They are in us more than our shareholders are, like German or French shareholders are in other businesses. We know how the system works. And there is so much commonality in terms of clarity, in terms of pragmatism, in terms of directness between a Turkish businessman and the US businessman. There are differences as well. They definitely, most like the Turks are more flexible investors and businessmen than Americans. Americans believe in long-term sustainability. We are too much short-termer, so we have to mix those two things together. We cannot choose one from the other. You shouldn't choose, actually. So we are trying to do at the moment a great combination of best of the two worlds and apply it into our US operations here. When our investment finishes, which will finish in the last quarter of 2014, we will generate about $500 million of revenue from our US operations, which is a significant amount of money for our own operations. And we know that we have to be successful here. So hopefully we will be expecting another award from TAIEC and ATC, this time for operational performance, so that our shareholders can see that we are doing okay after all this investment. So this was the easy part. I mean, the decision was the easy part, but it was very shocking for us to know that we are one of the few, or one of the first few investors in a greenfield operation in USA from Turkey. We are the 16th largest economy in the world, and we don't invest in USA. And I really looked into this. Why is that? And I think there is, first of all, we are unfortunately still, despite our collective thinking in political and social ways, and we have always had great military alliance together, our business relationship is not a very natural one. We are too far away from each other. And also on top of it, I think there is a, generally speaking, Turkish businessmen are scared to do business in USA. Probably they find USA too sophisticated, too complicated, and too competitive to make money here. These are all true. I mean, US is more regulated than Turkey, most likely. US is more competitive, US is more complex because of the state systems, etc. But on the other hand, it is a definitely, how should I say, a level ground. If you do your job well, you will be successful in USA. There is clarity, there is openness, and this is so important for businessmen. If you are good at what you do, you will be successful in USA, and that's why we trust ourselves, because we know this business well. We have been already exporting. I didn't say this before, but we have this type of products which we are investing to build and produce in USA. We have exported $700 million worth already in the last 4 years to this market. So we are trying to increase our market share in this segment from about 2% to 6%. But being a local player and getting the local premium, getting the premium of being a local player is very important, and we want to be here in the long term. So this is what I want to say from the investment side. But there is also the trade side. I realize that there is so much more we can do in the Turkish-American business relationships in trade. There is this interesting report produced by Boston Consulting Group, the competitor of McKinsey, last year. This is a more recent one, with some serious data analysis. they come to the conclusion that both in FDI and trade, both ways, US to Turkey, Turkey to US, the potential is 3 to 3.5 times more than what it is today. But this communication, the way we communicate our businesses, business-to-business relationships, I think there is room to improve. So that's why TAIC and ATC is doing a great job here, but probably more sectoral. The sectors represented here are great, they know each other, but there are such sectors with an opportunity that the sectoral relationship development is key for long-term sustainable growth between the trade in two countries. This has been done with Germany a lot, because I was in the Turkish-German Business Council for some years, in the board of that council. And the secret of success of German trade with Turkey and German investments in Turkey is that they are able to incorporate their small to medium-sized enterprises. They invest in Turkey. They go and buy companies in Turkey. There are, I think, 5,000 now German companies operating in Turkey altogether. And most of them are small to medium-sized family businesses from Germany. So sectoral emphasis is extremely important, and touching that base, not the large giants of Coca-Cola or Ford, etc., but touching that type of company base is a great opportunity for Americans to invest in Turkey, because this train is leaving, actually, and if you don't go on it now, it will be too late for that type of profiled companies in the next 5-6 years. I urge you, I mean, Ispat is here, the head of Ispat is here, the president. He's doing a great job. I urge the sectoral analysis to do a sectoral analysis and really get communicated to Ispat as much as possible. I think the second opportunity lies on the Turkish investments, the infrastructure investments. We listened this morning. I mean, huge investment opportunity, and again, very successful, cutting-edge technologies of the US companies are not as present in Turkey as it should be. So there is a lot of opportunity in that respect. And I know that there are many Turkish businessmen here who is also listening to me. I also urge them to take our way and look into the US economy in a more detailed basis in their own sectors. There are great opportunities here, I have no doubt. Hopefully in 3-4 years' time, if you invite me again, I will be talking about our operational success to become an example to new Turkish businessmen. I stop here now. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Argo. That was very thoughtful, and I was delighted to hear it, and I'm sure our business people in the audience, both American and Turkish, took it to heart, and we're delighted to hear it as well. We ask for your attention for a few minutes more while we make 2 awards presentations, and I wonder if I could ask, do we have a volunteer in the back of the room someplace? Joy, would you go back there and get a handheld microphone for me, please? Now, if I could ask our 2 chairmen, Ambassador Richard Armitage and Haluk Dinçer of TAIC, to join us, not up on stage, but right here in front of the stage. We're going to recognize the contributions of Ambassador Esther Cooper-Smith. So, Ambassador Cooper-Smith, could you join them, please? Give it to Rich. So. That's right. Now, if I could just read the citation, if you'll give one of those to Haluk Dinçer there, Mr. Chairman, thank you. This is a cultural award in recognition of her distinguished career as a UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador for her commitment to the improvement of the lives of children and women through her work with numerous UN organizations and the United States government, and for promoting works that emphasize the importance of cultural and educational cooperation between the United States and Turkey. The Cultural Award is given to the Honorable Esther Cooper-Smith.
I love Turkey. That and that's all that's necessary. Thank you very much for this wonderful award. I am very proud to receive it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, if I could ask our two chairmen to join me up on the stage now. We have one more award. Thank you. And where is Amgen? Oh, yes, please. And this is the Commercial Leadership Award in recognition of Amgen's responsible corporate policies which deliver safe, innovative, effective medicines that improve people's lives. For the successful acquisition in 2012 of Mustafa Nevzat Pharmaceuticals, the leading supplier of pharmaceuticals to the hospital sector and a major supplier of injectable medicines in Turkey, and for becoming one of the largest United States corporate investors in Turkey. The Commercial Leadership Award is given to Amgen.
Thank you very much. And I couldn't possibly match the rhetoric of Ambassador Cooper-Smith, but Amgen loves Turkey as well, so thank you very much. On behalf of Amgen, all our employees, and our CEO, Mr. Bob Bradway, I really am honored to be here today to accept this award for commercial leadership. We also want to congratulate the Borasan Group for your award and your presence here and your enthusiasm about the United States. Since 1980, Amgen has been a leader in biotechnology, trying to turn the latest advances in genetic science and into human therapeutics, biologic medicines, to attack and to solve some of people's most serious and grievous illnesses. We've changed the practice of medicine in many ways, helping millions of people around the world in the fight against cancer, kidney disease, rheumatoid arthritis, bone disease, and other serious illnesses. With a deep and broad pipeline of potential new medicines, we remain committed to advancing science to really address illness in people's lives and to improve people's lives and outlooks. We entered Turkey in 2010 with a focus on oncology and nephrology, and quickly, with an employee base now of 64 employees, we are working hard to expand into new disease areas. And we have a very enthusiastic team, and we're really delighted to be in the country. We're enjoying it so much that last year we acquired a Turkish pharmaceutical company, Mustafa Nevzat Pharmaceuticals, MN. The company had a 90-year history in Turkey, and we were really delighted to be able to join that company's enthusiasm and excitement and commitment to the Turkish market with our cutting-edge science and our commitment to improving illness. MN actually exports also to 20 other markets around the world, and we expect the total value of the exports from the country, from Turkey, to more than triple over the next few years, from $35 million in 2011 to over $124 million in 2016. So we really are excited and enthusiastic about the synergies between MN and Amgen. We've committed up to date more than $700 million in Turkey, and we're really looking forward to increase that number in the future. And again, I think it's really hard to say more than we love Turkey. So thank you again very much for this award. We very much appreciate it and look forward to the future.
Thank you again. Thanks for coming in to do this.
This is it? This is it? Okay.
Okay, with the conferring of these awards on Ambassador Coopersmith and on Amgen, Paul, I didn't mention your name when I looked at the certificate. It says Amgen. I know in talking about it before, they said they want to be known as Amgen, an award to Amgen, not to Paul. But I should have at least acknowledged, Paul, that you're receiving it on behalf of Amgen. My apologies. One final word. You of course are going on to your panel discussions this afternoon, the several sessions that remain for this afternoon. Let me remind you, 6:15, the reception begins for this evening. 7 o'clock is the dinner time. You need to be in here and in your seats by 7 o'clock. Please don't complicate security procedures by bringing bags, boxes, books, backpacks, etc. I guess that's, I know there was something else I was supposed to say about this evening, but I can't remember what it is. So have a good afternoon, and be ready to come in here promptly at 6:45. Thank you.